What's going on? We are back in the world of Dokkan, and as you can see, we are going to take on Team Bardock Extreme Super Battle Road with the Dollar Store Bardock. This is the Bardock you get from the bargain bin. If you go to the store, you find yourself short on cash, your credit is all messed up, you don't have the funds to secure that tech Bardock, you go ahead, you get this in Bardock, and you have at it. Very bad leader, very bad card. I mean, I guess the leader's okay, it's 120% to everything, but oh my god, man, he is just so bad because he doesn't stack defense. His defense is not that good. He's kind of like a support character, kinda. Honestly, this wouldn't have been possible without this Fasha. This Fasha is really good, like, for a Bardock unit, for a low-class warrior unit. She's really good. She'd be getting stuns off. She builds her defense. She also has an ability where I think the first 3 turns she takes like what is that, red damage or guard, perfect guard, whatever you want to call it. She's really good. This tour is pretty good, and then pretty much, as you may have guessed, the friend Bardock is pretty much carrying this. I would imagine this is ridiculously easy if you actually have the tech Bardock as lead, because he's very good, man. His activation skill is really good. He has good defensive building. And one thing I found hard about this event is that I have 5 Bardock, Tech Bardock, and then I also have AGL Bardock, the World Tournament one, who's halfway decent. I gotta admit, the way they've been treating World Tournament units lately have been pretty good. Like, they get the Awakening, and it's actually useful. It's actually usable. It's actually something that you'll bring to some type of event and get use out of, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this team is pretty much on life support, I'll be honest with you. It's a toughie. It ain't easy, and I think at some point in time I actually would have had the run ruined unless I dodge, which is never a good sign. I know some people love dodge. They're like, oh my god, dodge is so amazing. The only person I would ever think of to represent dodge as a human being would be the Truth DT, because he literally puts dodge in everything. Which triggered a lot of people on the subreddit. They see that, you know, people on Dokkan Battle subreddit, they go, he put dodge on Tech Goku, why would he do that? He ruined my JPEG, this fool! But I don't like dodge because, like, even if you're a character like UI Goku, obviously you have a high chance to dodge, but the probability games you start playing, it's so annoying. It's not deterministic. Like, you're like, okay, I might dodge here, or I might take a billion zillion damage. What should I do? Like, should I use a Whis? Should I use an item? And that's one thing about this team that I noticed, is that it's really like you could use, honestly, I came here before, I've used one Whis, and then I died, because honestly, like, unless Fasha gets built up, and unless you have, like, a decent unit on turn, these dudes be taking crazy damage. Like, before I got this Int Tora Awakened and SA farmed, I actually farmed them through the Tech Tora event, which, believe it or not, I had to wait a week because for some reason the Dokkan devs are too lazy to add him to the Portal Memories. I was trying to use AGL Tora. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy moly guacamole. You want to talk about L City? I was the fucking mayor of that city, boy. Just terrible, dude. Absolutely terrible. Oh my goodness. But believe it or not, we ended up securing the W. I went in the future. I figured it out. Just so you know, it happened. It occurred. And one thing that, speaking of future, speaking of timelines, I actually saw the new Spider-Man movie, Into the Spider-Verse. Really good film, really good movie. I actually liked it. I kind of wish they made the sequel a long time ago, because it's a sequel to the first one. Which was, I think it was the same name, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or this was like Spider-Man Into the Multiverse or some shit. I don't know what the name is. I just saw it, and I consumed the media. It was actually really good. The animation was actually really cool. Like, the way they chose to do the animation was very, like, colorful. The only movie I could think of that had, like, a similar color scheme somewhat is maybe Soul by Pixar. Like, it just had pastels and a bunch of nice colors. It looked really nice. The story was pretty good too, and you know, I went with a group of people, so I didn't look as creepy being an old man watching a somewhat of a child's movie, because I have my boys with me, you know what I mean? We in there heavy deep, we down there, you know, we deep in there, right? We in there. Actually, one person couldn't come because they couldn't make it, so, you know, we were one man down, but we were able to do it. We were able to keep the 30-year-old, 40-year-old energy in the theater, the proper the proper thermostat in order to make sure that these kids didn't have too much fun on their own. But the story was good. I liked it. I think when it comes to like Marvel and hero movies, don't kill me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they're pretty forgettable. They're pretty whatever. It's kind of like more like when you watch it, you just have a feeling. And this one was pretty good. Like I watched the first one. I liked that one a lot. I like this one as well, just because of the fact that it built on the story from the first one. If you haven't seen the first one, it's pretty much like an origin story. It's like every other Spider-Man ever. It's, I become Spider-Man. I then find out that one of my relatives is really evil, and then, someone close to him dies. Uncle Ben, oh no. But the way they do it is cool. The way they have it is nice. And I think it's one of the few movies that does, this might sound a little corny, because I live in the corporate world, and I hear the word diversity said over and over again, which is basically a code word from them to be like, oh, we love minorities, I swear we love them. But it actually does a really good job on, like, showing the different diverse outlook of, like, New York. Like, they have a bunch of, like, they have actual New York looking people. I mean, with the current movie, it went a little crazy with trying to be as diverse as possible, because like one of the characters is a black Spider-Man, and the only reason I mention that is because like they don't wear a mask, and like it had to be known immediately that it's a black Spider-Man. And then not only is it a black Spider-Man, but she's female, and not only is she female, but she's pregnant. So it's like, god damn, like how are you even out here like swinging web and stuff when you're pregnant? Like, fair enough. It didn't take away from the movie, and it wasn't a gigantic plot point. It was just a little bit, like, weird. Like, god damn, they're really going for the diversity bingo here. But other than that, they had, like, some cool, like, New York scenes. Like, it looked like New York. There was a bunch of black people, a bunch of Dominicans. There was people on, like, dirt bikes doing wheelies while people were eating chopped cheeses. They represented New York well, and I like to see the diversity. And they even had, one of the classic New York sports, which is basketball. But instead of regular basketball players, they had people who were in wheelchairs. That's a nice touch. That's very nice. Me personally, I've never seen that. Usually they just be, pushing people's wheelchairs over and then dunking. But, maybe that's just a little bit more hardcore ball. But that was a good movie. I liked it. I think that, I don't want to spoil it, but there's definitely going to be a sequel for it. And I just hope that the sequel that does come out, it doesn't take 3 years. Because I think this movie came out before Corona. It came out in like 2019. So it was affected by the whole Corona pipeline shit, you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, Corona's here. Nothing's happening in Hollywood other than child molestation. That's one of the things that Hollywood can't stop doing. But nothing's happening, nothing's going on, and it's basically a dead end. And they probably did nothing 2020. Started rolling the ball late 2021, I guess, or mid 2021. And then now the movie came out. And hopefully the sequel comes out before, another 2-3 years. But a man can only hope. But other than that, I've been doing pretty good. I'm in a good groove. You know what I mean? I'm in a good habitual, good groove. I had a couple good things happen this week. Right? What I'm about to say, you might relate to some of it. The other half, you might think I'm a boomer, but it made my day. I'll give you an example. Recently, and when I say recently, I mean like today. I actually figured out a work problem that was literally raping me and molesting me and was like literally taking over my mind. It was ruining my mind. And it wasn't like a scientific problem. It wasn't like a thinking problem. It was literally just a local machine problem. One thing you'll realize is like if you ever do local development, even at home, like getting the code to run, getting things set up, it can take time and stuff like that. And one thing that my job that was literally like destroying me is that they changed a policy for authentication. And one of my computers that I used to do certain things for my job, like, lost all its privileges. Like, literally, I became, like, a no-name piece of shit. So I had to call IT. I talked to IT for hours, bro. I had to reset my laptop. Like, it's disgusting. Anytime you have to reset your laptop, anytime you have to reset your PC, dude, it's disgusting. It's the most draining process ever. Like, this week was so draining just because of that was including in it. And then what ended up happening, lo and behold, the issue that I ran into is that something that I used to be able to do was no longer possible because my permissions were deleted and they weren't coming back. It was company policy. So I'm like, yo, like, this is insane. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need to basically authenticate and sign something, but I literally could not do it. Like, it was not possible. So I was frustrated. You know, I called IT. I called a bunch of people. I ended up making a ticket. Lo and behold, today I look at my computer and I say, you know what? Let me try a different method, right? I try it with a different program. Look at this, look at this, look at this. I would have died right there, by the way. Even though I'm pretty sure I had a Weiss active, 100% would have been cooked, cleaned, and destroyed had I not dodged that. But anyway, lo and behold, what I ended up doing, I ran a command that I thought might work that changed my computer a little bit. And then after I ran that command, I then basically added my computer to a different group that I thought might work, and it worked. Now the problem with what I just said is it took about 6 hours of my week, and what I just did took about 20 minutes. So here's the thing. When you know how to do something, like imagine if you never drove a car before in your life, you've never seen a car, and you're told, drive this car down the block, I'll give you 20 grand. It's like, you don't even know where the key, you don't even know a car requires the key, so you're not even looking for a keyhole. And then once you find the keyhole, your next question becomes, where's the key? And once you get the key, do you turn it forward, do you turn it back? You know what I mean? Like, when you don't know something, it takes so much time. And the thing is, for me, is that I'm a remote employee, so I'm going through these growing pains by myself for the most part when it comes to certain things like this. Because usually when you work at a company, like, they'll help you. They'll be like, oh, I went through this is what I did. Or they'd be like, oh, by the way, this is another L situation where you have a double Bardock. And what I was trying to do was I was trying to not get enough key. And I was trying to mastermind this, where I was trying to not get the Dokkan attack. I was trying to do something where I didn't get the Dokkan attack, but then at the same time, I did super, so I killed this guy. And, like, I was just doing too much, and having Fasha on this turn would be better, because next turn, I'm going to have AGL Bardock. So I think eventually I just took the L, and I did the Dokkan with Bardock, because there's really nothing I could do. But yeah, like I was saying, since I'm a remote employee, not many people run into the problems that I do. So it's very annoying, because usually when you're on the job, you know, you'll help each other out. I went through that. I did that. That's similar to my first job. Half my team had Mac computers and half my team had Windows computers. Oh my God almighty. It was so disgusting when I would run into an issue because I had a Windows computer, and I would ask like my dev lead, or I'd ask someone else, like, yo, do you know how to do this? And they're like, oh, I don't have that problem on my Mac, because we use a lot of open source software. And if you use open source software, and if you use things on GitHub, and you're thinking, oh, should I get a Windows machine or should I get a Mac machine? You can't make up your mind. Just get the Mac, because these scumbags specifically develop on Mac, for Mac. And if you're on a Windows machine, they literally could care less. Like, you'll make an issue on GitHub and be like, yo, I started your program and deleted all my files and my computer blew up. They're like, oh, it didn't help on my computer. I have Mac, nothing happened. And it's like, dude, yo, you're just about a piece of shit. You know, there's more PCs than Macs, bro. Like, you're really out here doing this to me? That's disgusting. That's nasty. And that's terrible. By the way, this support item is God tier. Literally a lifesaver. It's basically a ghost usher, and then it reduces damage by 60%. But other than that, other than the fact that I was able to resolve a work item, I actually started making YouTube videos again. Obviously, I have a couple videos that I've uploaded on this channel from time to time, but my main channel that I focus my most time on has been my Your Justice Warrior. Very funny channel, very hilarious. I basically make random videos about random things. Majority of the videos I made in the past like 6 months have revolved around OnlyFans content, only because that's all I know. You know, if that's all you know, that's all you talk about. But I was happy because this week I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, damn man, you know, I'm trying to make some content. You know, I'm trying to bring beauty to the world through art. And I thought, you know, what could I do? What could I say? And then that's when it hit me. I thought about the fact that way back when, about 2 years ago, if you don't know this, Tom Hanks' son created a movement called White Boy Summer, where he basically was going to literally just have a White Boy Summer. And he clarified it. He's like, this ain't going to be a Donald Trump MAGA White Boy Summer. This going to be a me, Jack Harlow type of summer. You know, very white and right and really great, which is crazy, which is like a nutso statement to say, but he literally said that. It's like, it's gonna be a crazy ass white boy summer. And then funny enough, what ended up happening is that he uploaded a music video to YouTube where he's like, hey, you know, I want to basically capture this white boy summer essence, this white boy summer energy. I want to make a music video. He had thoughts twerking the asses. He had dudes dancing in the background. And ironically enough, YouTube actually banned that video. Like, you could find it if you go on Google or if you go on Bing, you'll find the video. But you cannot find that video searching on YouTube, and it won't be recommended to you, and it won't pop up anywhere. And even the comments, like and the thing that's so funny is, like, YouTube banned it because they're like, oh, we don't want, you know, we don't want to offend people. We don't want them to think like, oh, we're endorsing white nationalism or white pride. And majority of the comments and majority of the people who even know who the hell Tom Hanks' son is, Chet Hanks, Big Chetty, is literally black people. Like, no, like that's the way I found out about it, is I would listen to like Joe Budden podcasts or other podcasts, and it would bring up how crazy it is that Tom Hanks' son randomly has a Jamaican accent. Like, that motherfucker literally walking around like talking in a fake Jamaican accent. And it wasn't anything offensive, it was just funny, something to look at. And YouTube's like, nah, we gotta ban this content, we can't be uploading that. So I'm working on that video, you know, I'm editing that, you know, I'm trying to work on that video at the moment. And that made me happy, I'm not gonna lie. When I thought of that, I was like, this is a beautiful video idea, I gotta do this. And then another thing, here's another thing, yo, my life is just full of joy, pleasure, and beauty. One thing I'm really happy about is that I've been able to consistently go to the gym, and I'm making gains, bro. I don't know if the gains is like, you know, in the sense of like literal gains, like I look like I'm making gains just because I'm still built like Jabba the Hutt, so it's hard to tell where the muscles at. But yo, we upping the weights, we doing more cardio. I did 35 minutes of cardio, and I didn't even think about it because I was busy watching Champions League updates, right? I was busy watching AS Roma lose, which was sad. And by the way, speaking of sad, look how dumb I was. I don't know how to read. I tried to not skip the active skill, but I did the animation entrance by accident. See, this is one of the reasons why reading comprehension is so important in this country. But I was able to do, you know, 35 minutes of cardio because I'm watching like AS Roma, Jose Mourinho lose his first final in history. That's crazy. His first European final L came from Sevilla and an own goal. That's nasty. But you know, cardio's up, weight is up. You know, we making moves, bro. I'm going to the gym regularly. I'm uploading videos semi-regularly for the past week. We on a 1-week streak. Yo, they ain't nowhere to go but up. It's like DJ Khaled always says, you can't stop winning. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to be successful. But don't worry about what they think. Major key is to do what you want. Major key. But there you go. We were able to beat Team Bardock with the bargain bin Bardock. It was pretty hard. It was pretty difficult, but we did it.